Three, two. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Entab presents CampusCare EdTalks, an exclusive platform where the stalwarts of education come on board and express their viewpoint on curbing topics related to education. Before I begin, let me quickly introduce you to Entab. We are a 20-year-old IT company engaged in providing matured and futuristic school ERP, CRM, and mobile apps to the schools spread across India and help in transforming them from good schools to great ones. In today's session of Ed Talks, we shall discuss that how can one know their calling. We'll understand that how can parents look out for sparks in their child that may lead them to their larger purpose. We'll also learn about building patience and perseverance to fulfill that purpose of life. So let's start by introducing our panelists for today. Please welcome Mr. V.K. Mishra, the principal of DPS Bareilly in Uttar Pradesh. For his contribution to the field of education for more than 2 decades, Sir has been awarded with Atal Shiksha Ratna Samman by Avantika Group, the Best Principal Award, and an award by Srijan Welfare Society. Welcome to the show, sir. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
Next up, we have Dr. Bhavanishankar Subramanian, the Senior Principal of Lalaji Memorial Omega International School in Chennai. In his educational journey, Sir has been honored with the Young Scientist Award and the Research Associateship Award. Sir has been given more than 20 conference presentations and has published 8 researches under his name. Welcome on board, sir. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
All right. Before I go, before I get in and engage them in a conversation, for those who are watching us on YouTube, in case if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so and click on that bell icon to stay regularly updated. First thing first, sir, our audience would love to know, Bhavani, sir, what exactly is calling, and is it important for everyone to have a calling, or let's say a greater purpose of life?
I would say this is something like a very strong impulse, so that would propel a person to a particular course of action. Sometimes it's a recall of all the experiences that you've had earlier. These experiences would reveal themselves as very strong and dynamic phenomena of increasing intensities.
Right.
So it gives the person an inner conviction and draws this person towards his or her passion. So this, I would say, is a calling. Sometimes I would say this is also spiritual or divine in nature, because a voice comes and tells you that, hey, this is the way you move forward. So all of this, I would say, is driven towards a purpose of accomplishment, something that continuously nudges me with this the joyous alacrity that I am asked to move forward in a particular direction. So, and if you are asking me, so if there is a purpose to it, yes, there is a purpose to it. So it is the courage that emerges and asks you to move forward. So with all the alacrity, leading towards a particular goal. So that I would say is the purpose with which a calling generally is addressed.
All right. Wait, sir. Sometimes it's not the person himself or herself, but the closest people around them who can see their calling. For example, and mostly it comes with experience, I presume. How would you suggest parents should look out for that particular thing? Like for example, how to look out for Virat Kohli's and all those people as a parent.
All right, thank you so very much. And once again, I thank to Intap for giving me this opportunity and share my views on calling. As rightly said by our fellow panelist, Dr. Bhavani ji, about the calling. Basically, in my opinion, especially when we talk in terms of calling, we have 3 P's, what I believe. One is profession, another is purpose, and third one is person. So profession, purpose, and person. All three are very, very essential components in calling.
In general talk, if we sometimes confuse also to others that calling means something like about the career. Calling means talking about career. But as it is rightly said by Sir, that when you intend to take any word, you need to go into the meaning of it with the purpose. So, what I believe is doing and being, both the combinations come into the calling. And now, doing and being, if you talk in terms of like Virat Kohli, as you have rightly said, an example, that if a person is himself in the part of motivation and creating an aura around the society where everyone is influenced, then you can create a kind of calling for others also. Most of the times, what we see, our children are also becoming a fan of somebody's, and sometimes wanting are becoming and being. There are differences which create impact on the larger scale. So, what I believe is that when there is a set line between career and do whatever you can be in your life, if you are able to differentiate in these two, you will have a bigger and larger domain of calling, I believe.
Right. Absolutely. Wonderfully said, sir. All right. Bhavani, sir, do you think there is a deadline to know your calling? Because we've also seen, for example, 10 years down the lane, if I think about doing something else in my life, then people would be saying that I'm going through a midlife crisis. And even teenagers today are just looking to do something big, like open my own startup. सबसे बड़ी बात मेरे टाइम पे भी कॉलेज के दो बच्चे निकलते थे, एक चेयरमैन बनता था, एक एमडी बनता था और बोलते थे वी हैव आईटी कंपनी. So sir, your viewpoints on the same.
Okay, see, first, let me also add on to what you asked earlier. See how the family or
Yeah,
parents can or the friends may see it, but I strongly believe that no one else can see my calling. So it is me that sees my calling, and it's a very personal feeling. See, what, yes, I can relate to my experiences and share the drive that compels me to move forward, or my, see, confusions about the direction to my family or friends. So maybe my friends have, in my own personal experiences, they have conspired together to create a favorable environment for you.
yeah.
So with this environment has permitted me to realize my purpose. So that's something that I want to add on. And I
Right.
feel the children, when they grow up, would ultimately make their own choice. It's not the parents can, all that the parents can do is to help the children realize their interests, aptitudes, abilities, and gifts, and to permit them to develop all of these through several joyful experiences. So, if you're asking me, you would be very, very surprised that there are several research evidences that suggest that um, the significant and discrete variances like interests and personalities are not actually fixed in the childhood and adolescence. They continuously fluctuate
Fluctuate, yeah.
back and forth before stabilizing during adulthood. So, what we may do is to just drive our calling in the children as parents. So, many of us seek to give our children varied experiences where we really need to permit them to assimilate several dimensions of life. I'm sorry. So if you're asking me as a parent, did I permit it? The answer is no. See, what I was actually doing is to try and realize my calling in the person. So this is what I did as a parent, and sometimes I get carried away by my own calling. It's not that the calling is my child's calling. So what I would do over time. So to answer this question of yours, see, if there needs to be a purpose, I would say that there needs to be a sense of doing in what the person wants to accomplish.
Right.
There needs to be this itch that compels him to do this work, the intensity with which the person seeks to accomplish this particular work, the desire to share the journey of this calling with all of us, and the determination to do it if the same is measured by different yardsticks of success. So it need not be necessarily financial. So I would say, from my own experiences, it was more like replacing those that you love ahead of your own desires. So that would be the calling. So, and I derive a lot of pleasure in trying to accomplish what my loved ones need.
But
So,
sir, you still didn't answer my question. I asked about deadline.
sir, I'm just saying that there are no particular deadlines. So I'm just coming to that. So there are absolutely no deadlines. I am saying that the calling, I told you, it sort of consolidates only during the adulthood. And even through the adulthood, it can be multiple levels of this calling that emerge. See, first, if you note, I said that it is a consolidation of various experiences. Now, if there are multiple experiences that with increasing intensity permit you to move in a direction, there is no hole there. I'm saying that Virat Kohli might decide to call it a day in cricket and maybe do something else. So, see, at every level in our life, it's more like the purpose that drives us or compels us to move forward. There is no one set of calling. But if you realize that at the end of this particular journey, all these different strings are connected in multiple ways that will tell you, yes, I have lived my life purposefully.
Right. So there you go, folks. There's no age group to know your calling. There's no such thing as midlife crisis or something. If you really have it, if you really want to go for it, you can go for it. All right. Moving forward, wait, sir. Let's say a person has found his or her calling. Like for example, a Virat Kohli has found his calling. What would be the next step? How can we know that the path and build will what sort of of course it'll require dedication, hard work, perseverance. What else will it require?
What I believe is that when you talk in terms of calling, so I believe that following God's creation for your life with passion. What I believe is, if you talk in terms of do you have a clear purpose in your life, or what is the purpose of your life? The two most important days in the life, what I believe is the day when we are born and the day when we find out why we are born
Born,
and
right?
we were. So, this is what I believe. If we are able to connect these two purposes of our life, then automatically, as it is said, there is no set time when you are getting a calling. Maybe in age of 40, suddenly you are getting such kind of sense that you need to switch over from A to B and you are becoming a person in the world known. So this is what I believe. And in my opinion, always I keep on saying this also, a cash factor is always important for anybody's calling to make it in a mature. Because what happens when you are submitting something to Almighty or in the passionate way, then cash factor is designed by my own dictionary. So K, I believe, is the knowledge. A, I believe in the attitude. H, I believe in habit, and S, I believe in skills. So S first come and H later. So Kash, Kash. And in success of anyone's, this cash factor makes more important in calling, I believe. Because when you are integrating your calling with cash factor, so knowledge, of course, everybody, like in my profession, everybody is BEd and MSc or PhD. And then if we believe in the attitude, where person is having passionate attitude or enforce attitude. Passionate attitude means a teacher goes in the class and enjoys. When he or she comes back, even he or she enjoys. Passionate teaching is like this. When you are in force teachers, you are getting a timetable and going in the class, coming with, oh, I have done my work. So this is what attitude. If you have skills, what I believe in mathematical language, if you have the multiplication and addition, so multiplication I believe is a skill, addition is your knowledge. So repeated knowledge in the part of your own professional skilling, that becomes your skill. And habit, of course, you should not do anything in a day. You should do repeatedly to achieve your passionate calling. This, I believe, if 25% weightage we give it to all, 100% success will come with the calling. Otherwise, sometimes you feel you entered in your calling, but sometimes you yourself are regretting, if, was it my call or was it my somewhere influence?
Right. Absolutely. And well, it's always never too late if a 40-year-old guy from operating a service station in Corbin, Kentucky, to just by serving food to customers, can go on make an empire known as KFC, then I'm sure there is no such thing as it's too late to know your calling. Thank you so much, Bhavani sir. Thank you so much, Ved sir, for giving us your valuable time. It was a pleasure having you for this conversation. Till we meet next time for some other webinar. Till then, stay safe, maintain all the social distancing norms, stay healthy. Have a nice day,
Thank
sir.
you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Have a nice day, sir.
Thank you. Same to you.